Alright. Oh, right, Blue Land. Blue Land and Dancy Swords. Okay. I vaguely remember. We went all the way over here and found a dead end. Today we're gonna climb up this thing and see if maybe we can take whatever this looking path over here is, or maybe we just climb up. I don't know where this is gonna go. But we're going to see. Oh, is there not even a path, actually? There must be. There's hands and shit over there. Okay. So, let's remember the controls and figure it out. Anywho, I hope everybody had a good week. I had a pretty normal one, really. I can't say good or bad. I can say, it's nice that the new employee we have is finally, like, out in the front and actually doing some of their job instead of just sitting on the 1.5 million training videos that we're all stuck doing every time we get any of these frickin' jobs these days. So that's nice, you know, another person to say hello to and have a couple of words with. Now, why would there be a blood stain? Oh, maybe because of that electric-y ball? Okay. Let's bait it. There we go. Alright, up here is just electric-y ball land. Debated. Ah. Alright. Cool. But yeah, other than that, my week was pretty normal, you know. I worked all week. I did my Monday thing. I did my various tabletop gamings that I do throughout the week. We're kind of between games on my Thursday night, because the Thursday night was the one I had been running. We talked a bit about that. Okay, that's a bad guy down there. I thought that was like a dude I could talk to for a moment. Okay, I guess not. But we're kind of between campaigns now. We did some like not world building, character building stuff last week and a little bit this week. Mostly because we knew we didn't have everybody fully available this week. Which was really too bad. It kind of worked out because the person who's going to be the GM now lost their power like 45 minutes into what would have been our session 1. Thanks to some construction on their road that evening or something. So, you know, could have been a lot worse. Or rather, could have been a big problem. And we might have been like, well, shit, our, like, session 1 just got super fucked up and everyone's sad and annoyed. But luckily we had not been planning to really do the, hey, bud. We had not really been planning to do the full thing this week anyway, so it worked out. Hey, Rose Red, how's it going? Happy Friday. Fighting this guy on a horse is a little silly. It's fine. He's dead. That's what mattered. Can catch a bit tonight after all. Hooray! I'm not planning on going super long or anything tonight. We started a little later than my normal start time would be, obviously. And I'm sort of feeling like, you know, 2-ish hours is kind of what I'm planning to do today. Go till about 9. Knowing me, I'll probably go like a little bit later just because I'll be like, oh, I'm in the middle of a thing I want to complete or something. Y'all know how I be. But, yeah. We'll see how it goes. How was your week, Rose Red? Did you get to do anything nice? I only started literally like 5 or 10 minutes ago, maybe. Probably 5 minutes ago. What does that say? I started 12 minutes ago, but the first, 5 to 8 minutes was the, hey, starting soon screen. So you literally missed, like, nothing. Oh. Okay, worked out. Okay, so you can just walk up this side. Interesting. I missed this little path last time. I was kind of going to go up there. I wonder if it's worth going back. As this is leading down into the trenches. Alright. Let's go back to get up on top of that thing. A little cooler at the end of the week. That made it better. That's good. I did hear that, your neck of the woods was maybe having some heat wavy shit happening again, which scared me. I don't want it to move up to me, but... But then my building seems to have turned the yearly building heater on as of, like, today. Or maybe they were just doing a test of it today or something. But it definitely had been turned on for a little bit this evening. That was a little sad to see. Like, I get it. It has been chilly overnight lately up here. But I would not say that it has been cold during the day, especially. Alright, where's the piece I was looking to get down on? Right there. Give me that grave wart. Yesterday was a celebration of life for a beloved friend. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're able to join me today. Hey there, big hands. I ain't dealt with y'all in a long time. Oh, I did not remember that these things hated fire that much. Dance on it, dance on it. Aha! Get danced on, fool. That's right. I'll just tank the hits while I dance. Looks like I can definitely follow the beach over that way. Arguably a little scary, but... I don't think I see a watery cliff. I think that looks kind of like a piece of land, in fact. Alright, hands. Alright, I did not remember that move. Let me float into the air and swipe at ya. Wow, okay, I'm getting comboed. Jeez, crazy. As long as it's one, I'm fine. When it's a bunch, bad things happen. Chop chop. Onward! Alright, secondary hidden beach. Oh, hey, hand. I see you. Aha! Oh, hey, hand. Alright. You and your little smashy move, I get it. But yeah, other than, you know, regular work, I didn't do anything too exciting today. Or rather, this week. New season of anime is kind of in the starts of stuff right now. The October into December season, I guess, is how you describe it. So we're kind of in the middle of a bunch of that stuff I normally might follow some of. I think this weekend, Shangri-La Frontier is starting its season 2 or something, which I'll probably watch. The first season of that was enjoyable enough. I started the Dan show that I think might have had an episode 2 this week. Hello, Finger Ruins. Just gonna touch this thing here if you don't mind. And I'm gonna explore a little more over here first. You liked episode 1? It was something. I enjoyed the kickoff enough. I'm not, like, gonna poo-poo on it or nothing. I didn't really know what to expect. I just saw, I saw that Science Saru was the animation company behind it. And not that I have followed a ton of Science Saru's stuff, but y'all may remember Warp, who used to hang out in our chat a lot. I know Science Saru was one of their favorite studios, and considering they are an animator, you know, seems like the kind of person who, if they have a company they like a lot, maybe you pay attention to that and say, ah, maybe I should pay attention to that studio then. But yeah, that first episode, I think the second episode came out. But the beginning of that show definitely kicked off in a kind of goofy, fun way, and I'm at least interested enough to see where it goes. Not necessarily confident that I'll want to watch all of it, but I tend to give things like a full season in general. Not that I always watch the full season of something that I start. If I, like, really am just kind of turned off by it in the first couple episodes, I probably won't stick with it, but if I get past, like, 3 or 4 episodes, I'm probably watching the whole season. What's Shangri-La Frontier? It is on Crunchyroll. The first season of that was, like, early this year, I think. And it's, like... It's not quite an isekai, which, as someone who's, like, not against isekais, they are kind of a flooded genre, I would say. And so, I don't often find myself watching them, but it kind of dances around a lot of the isekai stuff by not being an isekai, just being a VR MMO that a bunch of people play some silly game in. And the first season did a fairly good job of just feeling like the characters in general seemed like they are people who are actually playing video games rather than... Yeah, mistakes were made. It did a good job of kind of feeling like these are people, they play a video game, they have some silly banter and shit. Isekai is the kind of broad, the broad genre term of somebody dies and gets sent to another world and get to start their life over. The, like, 1.5 million anime you've seen with, I got reincarnated as an XYZ. Are like all isekais. And just as a genre space, like, and again, I have enjoyed, like, one of my favorite animes of all time is technically an isekai. El Hazard, The Magnificent World. It is way older than a lot of the modern stuff, so I think it gets around at least some of those tropes. For one. For two, they did a lot more with that series than the thing that I say is, like, my favorite about it. The original, like, 7-episode run of that series is the thing that I'm like, I fucking love this anime. And they did, like, a 4-episode, like, thing after that, which is, like, way worse. And some other thing after that, which was way worse. I think they tried to remake it at some point, maybe. I didn't even try to watch that. Not your faves as a rule, but you've watched some. It's hard to avoid watching some. And I have definitely watched some. Like, I'm not out here being like, ooh, isekai's all bad. But there is so much of it, and so much of it is mediocre at best. That it, when I see something says isekai on it, I'm usually not jumping to check it out. Okay. Out of my way, little hands. I'm gonna dance on y'all. At any rate, Shangri-La Frontier isn't exactly an isekai, even though there is a lot of crossover. between those genres, especially the ones that are like, I got transported into a video game specifically. But like, Shangri-La Frontier is very specifically not, hey, someone is trapped inside of this video game in some way. Some of the comedy of it exists because of the fact that they are in a video game and some people are idiots and not good at, like, the real life side of their life. So just in general, I find it perfectly enjoyable, for lack of a better way of putting it. Does this one not care about fire? Oh, no, there it goes. Just doesn't care about what's on the wall, I guess. Like, frankly, shonen, like the generic shonen, there's a whole lot of those too. And I think Dan to Dan is probably technically one of those. But there's a shitload of that stuff too, and I watch a fair amount, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen, etc. But compared to the amount that's out there, I'm fairly picky when it comes to that as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else coming out this season that I'm, like, aware of. Nerdy guy, feisty, sexy gal. Yeah, honestly, the biggest change up... Oh, jeez, what the heck? Let me up, let me up. The biggest change up with Dan to Dan that I've seen is that the female character seems to be maybe at least a much more primary protagonist. Like, one of the things about a lot of shonen is it's generally kind of boys clubby, which is super true of Jujutsu Kaisen, which I like a lot. It's fairly true of Chainsaw Man, despite power being a big part of Season 1. Or Part 1, I don't know how else to put it. Tri-Seed? Alright. Yeah, I like it too. I've been kind of watching some, like, older stuff. I guess some of it's modern, but some of it's older. Because not long ago, like in the last few weeks, I realized that one of the services that I did not have access to before had the first season of Oshi no Ko on it, which I had heard a lot of, not a lot, I had heard about in some ways that were like, hey, this is good, people should check it out. This feels like there's something supposed to be happening here. Examine remains. Oh, is this like, you can double one of these things again? Is that what's going on here? Let's just... Okay, yeah. So this is a duplication spot. Okay. No more walkie mausoleum things. Now we just have the little... This guy right here. Actually gonna make a mark on the map about that. Let's make it a flag. Try to remember that for the future in case I find a thing where I'm like, I really want both of these. Dandadan has a little more kill female energy. Definitely. We'll see if they stick to that. What the fuck are you? You're like Snake Man, kinda. Like, we've seen snake people in this game before, and they don't look quite like that. New Snake Man just dropped. Anyway, Oshinoko. I watched that first season, which, I don't know. Like, it's extremely good, and also, I feel like I need to warn anyone if I were to try to suggest it, like, it is not a fun series, despite what it may seem like it's going to be from the earlier parts of it. The first episode is like a movie, like literally a movie. It is an hour and 40 minutes or something, which I did not realize the day I decided, okay, let's check this out finally. I'll watch the first episode, and then like 35 minutes in, I was like, how is this not the end of the episode yet? And realized the mistake I had made. But like, just as a general cautionary tale, by the end of that first episode / movie, it has done a big piece. The first episode is like a movie-long prologue, I guess. And it has a really fucking sad and depressing ending to that prologue. Not that it isn't, like, foreshadowing it. Not that a bunch of things, but, like, it hit me pretty damn hard. And, other parts of that first season fucked me up pretty bad, too. I think it is extremely good, though. Like, just don't go in if you're like, ooh, I want something, like, light and fun. Because you are not going to find it there. Which I liked it enough that I was like, is there a season 2 coming soon? And found out, apparently it's, like, already out. But it's only on High Dive, which I did not have access to, and I was like, well, I'll do the 7-day trial just to watch this second season of Oshinoko, which I did, and the 7-day trial's already over. Second season has some fairly heavy shit in it, too. Not like season 1, but still. Heads up. Don't know if you can handle heavy shit right now. Fair. But the thing about it is, after watching that, I was like, alright, let's find out, like, a little bit about maybe why I remember either hearing about this show or whatever. Find out some other stuff about, like, the making of this show, and Oshinoko is based on a manga by someone who did a comedy anime that is, like, fairly modern. Definitely not old, but, you know, not something that came out in the last couple years. called, called Kaguya-sama Love is War, which is another one that I had heard about, but I don't necessarily watch a ton of comedy anime usually, and it's just kind of one that, like, you know, I maybe heard about somewhere, heard some decent stuff about, and then finding out, like, oh, this Oshinoko is written by the same person as this comedy anime. I was like, I should check that out. So I've actually been watching a bunch of Kaguya-sama Love is War. Which, if you're looking for something light, Kaguya-sama Love is War is much lighter than Oshinoko. It is a comedy. It's still like a high school romantic comedy thing. It has some anime tropes in it that are not necessarily the most fun, but in general, I think it's pretty fun. I enjoyed it enough that I've been just watching through all that. Well, that's what I've been watching. Wait. What am I waiting? Where am I going right now? This is not where I came down. But it is going back up, which is interesting. 1 minute review of Kaguya-sama? Sure. Oh my god. Hang on, let me try not to die to this guy real quick. Alright. 1 minute review of Kaguya-sama. Kaguya-sama Love is War is pretty goofy. The premise of it is just like, here's two high school kids that like each other, but for whatever reason got it in their heads that confessing that they like each other, whoever confesses first loses. And so it's a bunch of antics of them trying to, like, one-up each other and get the other one to be like, oh, I like you first. And, you know, hijinks ensue. A lot of the supporting cast is pretty fun. Oopsies. A lot of the supporting cast is pretty fun, and the will they, won't they is generally pulled off in a pretty fun way, but it's done in a bunch of, like, really short vignette things. The episodes are not really self-contained in the way that you might want, which can make watching it feel a little strange sometimes, where it's just, like, not that it's jumping around in tone, but sometimes the little, like, jokey story that is 3 or 4 minutes long doesn't feel complete. And, you know, they might come back to it, but it makes it very bingeable because you can just watch a bunch of it, and also makes it very, it's just not really my favorite type of... I've watched other anime that does stuff like that too. It's not really my favorite type. I like something a little more generally structured. But it's still like a 4 out of 5. I've had a lot of fun with it. There's your 1 minute review. 4 out of 5. I still have some of it to watch. I guess... When I say it wasn't modern, I guess it's been coming out for like 5-ish years or something. The anime, at least. And it seems like they maybe, like, basically completed it, and then decided to do a, like, 1 more season type thing. And I know the manga, or it's based on, I think, ran, like, way past where the anime did. But the, like, oh, we're gonna do a little bit more of this, I think is only, like, a couple of episodes. Not, like, a full season. And I think that came out, like, last year at some point. Boop, boop, boop. One thing about Kaguya-sama that was kind of funny for me is there's definitely some, like, meme stuff I've seen that was pulling in some way from that show, and I did not know that. So then seeing it in that show was like, oh, that's what this is from. Weird. I just want my souls first. My runes. Sorry, my runes. Alright, buddy. Ow. That's what I get for focusing on one. We're watching all kinds of anime on Crunchyroll that got to the ends of their seasons. Yeah. It's that time of year. It is just that time of year for a bunch of stuff to end. Or at least finish their season. Most of the stuff I was watching, I feel like, finished a couple weeks ago. I do say most, not all, for a reason, though. As I saw, one of those did an episode, like, this week that I haven't watched yet. And I was like, oh, I thought it was done for the season. Weird. But I watch all kinds of bullshit, so, you know, can't be too surprised. This last season, though, was a lot of stuff that, like, I wasn't as into as many of the other things I've watched lately. The thing that was funny to me, honestly, was the Oshinoko thing, because I didn't know that was something that had been airing, like, this last season, because it was on a service I don't have. So when I got that 7-day trial, it was like, oh, the last episode for this season comes out in like 3 days. Oops. Weird. So I guess I watched one more thing last season that I didn't... but I watched it all in the last, like, week. Not as it was coming out, like most of the stuff I watch. High Dive. High Dive is some weird, like, smaller service, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. There's not a lot on it. Like, because I had that 7-day trial, I took a peek to see if there was anything else on there I was, like, interested in. And, like, not really. But, you know, I can't say if that's because they don't have stuff I would watch, or if they're just... or if just, like, some of the stuff on there is stuff that has made it to other platforms. I've been kind of tripped out lately by the number of things that are on, like, a bunch of places. After the amount of time I feel like I've needed to have, like, a million services to fucking watch anything. Seeing, like, Dan to Dan is on Crunchyroll and on Netflix. Rather than just one of them. I feel like there was another one like that, too. That I remember being like, oh, that's weird. Alright, just want to lure you guys a little more one at a timey if possible. Alright, where did you come from, guy? Getting behind me somehow. Right. Have we separated them out? I think this is the last one. Last weird lamprey mage. we managed not to lose our souls. Hooray. Or our runes. Our runes. It's not Dark Souls. It's Elden Ring. The anime that sticks with you that I recommended is Frieren was extremely good. And Frieren is not heavy in the way that Oshinoko is. I will say, like, quality-wise, Oshinoko is up there with Frieren. I just don't want anyone to watch Oshinoko and not be prepared for, like, hey, this anime is going to fucking... This anime is probably going to fuck you up very specifically. It wants to. It's shocking. It is shocking some of the depths they go to in Oshinoko. Appreciate that. Very considerate. You're welcome. I'm hoping that Dan to Dan, as I watch a bit more of it, makes me go, ooh. I'm feeling extremely good about this in a way that I did with, like, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. 'Cause I remember Jujutsu Kaisen when that, like, first was airing, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. I feel like... I was like, this seems good in the first, you know, 5-ish episodes. Whoa, buddy! But it was something, like, later where I really was like, oh shit, I think this is, like, really good. And I'm hoping Dan to Dan does that to me again, where I'm like, because right now, again, I'm like, this seems pretty good, this has potential. And I'm just really hoping that, you know, somewhere between episode 5 and 9, I'm like, oh shit, actually, like, this is super good, I'm really into it. Etc., etc. Where is this path going? Fingers up! Yep, there sure is a house ahead. More info about that house for me? Anyone who's written the, like, million things on the ground? Trap ahead! Okay. Where? Is it a hand in the ground trap? Ah, futility. Yes, I see hands in the ground now. See their nails popping up. Aha. Aha, hands! The dance of death comes for you! Just die, please. Thank you. Now, the bigger question for me, what the heck were those hands guarding? Seems weird that they're just in this little field all by themselves. Oh, one more. All by them lonesomes. really seeing any, like, special pickup or anything. Okay. I have to give him a chance to get better or worse? Yeah. And I definitely tend to.